In today's video I'm going to be looking at one of these so-called grow lights, but I don't want to actually grow anything with it. It's a 400 watt super HBS, which is high pressure sodium. They've got quite a orange spectrum on them, which is why I actually wanted. You can't get the old socks, as they call them, the low pressure sodium lamps anymore, or not unless you want to pay hundreds of dollars and order it from Italy or somewhere. And somewhere here I do have an actual metal halide, I think it is, one of the little short globes. Should be the old one lying around here somewhere. I bought 3 old lights, I think, from the tip shop. Only one of them actually had a good globe in it, and that gives that really nice, very orange colour that you used to see in street lights. They're really great for lighting up like sandstone buildings and stuff, so they still use them for that a bit. And they actually look really good at night lighting up trees and stuff, which is what I want one for. So I thought I'd try out one of these, supposedly rather orange. I think they're around 2000K or something. Does it tell you what the spectrum is? I looked it up when I ordered it. What is it? Sunstream 400 watt. It says for digital ballast, but I'm going to try this on a good old electromagnetic ballast. Do not exceed rated ballast voltage. Do not use lamp if glass is scratched or broken. Do not use beyond rated life. I guess that's in hours. Do not turn the lamp until fully installed. In other words, don't hold it in your hand. I guess we screw it in with the power on. Use with fixture and ballast rated for this product. Electrically insulate any metal to glass support in fixture. Yeah, because these things can blow up. Well, it contains mercury. I'm surprised. Thought they'd banned mercury out of just about everything. It might be another reason to buy them off if they're going to ban fluorescent tubes and stuff. So it's still got mercury vapor in this thing. And yeah, I'm pretty sure it was... Does it tell you the spectral range? Provides 15% more available energy for plant growth than a normal high pressure sodium. Enhanced spectral energy distribution allows for growing a wider variety of plants, compatible with electronic ballast. So in other words, they want you to use an electronic ballast, but I don't particularly want to spend 150 bucks or something on one. And you can pick up these old, this is a peer light, HL400, these 400 watt. They say inside these things they'll suit a metal halide or a, what's the other one? I've got one in pieces here on the floor. Should say what it does. Oh, mercury vapor. Yeah, metal halide or mercury vapor. But from what I can see online, these should basically run off the same thing, these high pressure sodiums, though they might pull slightly more current. Listed lamp holder. And one thing you do need is they need a igniter. So some of these made for mercury vapor and stuff just have a transformer or ballast. All the ballast is a big choke basically. It's just there because these lamps, they basically are a gas discharge lamp, so they basically produce a large arc inside the lamp. This inside that sort of, I guess that's the quartz tube in there, and this is probably normal glass on the outside. You really shouldn't put your fingerprints all over these because it can cause them to break later on, supposedly. I'm not sure if it actually your greasy fingerprints eat into the glass or just concentrate heat there or something. So it did come with some bubble wrap to keep on it while you screw it in and out. And yeah, the choke's job, as I actually found out once because I had a big lamp and I assumed it had a ballast inside it, but it didn't. And if you plug one of these straight into the mains, it'll just blow the fuse or circuit breaker or whatever because it acts like a short circuit. The current just goes crazy in there basically. So what they need is like a high current or high voltage to get them going, to get the arc started. And as soon as the arc is running, it's like a short circuit basically, so you've got to have something to limit the current. So much like a fluorescent lamp, you need a ballast, and all that does is, once the tube's fired up and arcing down the tube, it just limits, it's just a current limiter like a big resistor or something, but it's an electromagnetic one, so it's correctly called a choke. And the other thing you need with some of these is some of the metal halides and some of these HBS, high pressure sodium, I think all high pressure sodium, some metal halide need an igniter which puts a higher voltage in there to get the arc started. and I don't think mercury vapor actually need that. Don't think any of their lamps require it, so I'm hoping this thing will actually run. So we'll give it a go and see what it does, and hopefully it doesn't blow my $30-40 globe or whatever it cost. I can't remember what it was exactly now, but it's somewhere around the $30 to $40 mark, I think. And hopefully we don't blow the fuse or anything. So let's give it a go. Whoop, sounds promising. It is humming a lot. Whoop. They often start a bit white, and yeah, the camera probably isn't going to like this too much. They take a while to warm up. But a 400 watt should be pretty bright. Here we go. So that's the sort of colour I'm looking for, that nice orange glow. This is nowhere near full power yet. These lamps take a while. Sometimes I think they can take up to 10 minutes or something to get to full brightness. But at least it's running. I'm hoping I can use these, because these are common as dirt. You can pick them up for a few dollars. These 400 watt fittings, usually with either a blown globe or a knackered. Usually this had screws in it there. I don't know if this had a fitting on it when I got it or not, but often they got like a lamp shade attached that you can screw a big mercury vapor or metal halide lamp into. And if they're damaged or something, you can get just the transformer part pretty cheap. But yeah, that is a nice colour so far. Probably going to run pretty hot. I guess we can sort of blur that out a bit. But yeah, that is getting super bright. I need to protect my eyes from it, I think. Well, it hasn't gone bang, but at least the igniter definitely lights it up. Yeah, the camera's slowly, I can hear the shutter going, so it's getting brighter. And yeah, it's definitely getting brighter in here. I think that'll do for now. I want to test it outside anyway. And really this is going to need some sort of housing. I do have some, they were 1000 watt light fittings. They come in one of those big, great big die cast housing things about, well, as long as this box and this lamp, with a sheet of glass over the front, die cast heat fins on the back that let all the heat out. Yeah, probably like high, what do you call it, high tensile glass, safety glass stuff on the front. Because you can't really put this out in the weather or something. I wouldn't be surprised with how hot they get. A bit of cold rain on it or something would probably crack the glass or something. If that doesn't, something will hit it and break it. And of course, you don't want any water or anything getting anywhere near the fitting. Which this is obviously not a waterproof. This is made to be hung off a ceiling. I think, yeah, pendant mount only it says. It's an internal factory light type of setup. So it's one 400 watt metal halide lamp. 1.9 amps, start current 3.35 amps. Oh yeah, of course the start current and the run current are different. I think these were actually saying somewhere around 4 amp start current. But if it runs at 400 watts, they should all be roughly drawing the same current from the mains. This is made the 13th of 2nd 11 in China. So that one's in quite good nick. I do have another rougher one here. I better be careful with this lamp because it is hot, and probably shouldn't really move it around while it's hot. Certainly don't get subjected to any shocks. This is a grottier old one I got here, and we've got I think I poked the wires that were originally in the lamp socket, which is very poor condition, out the side to test something. Probably that lamp that I plugged in and didn't realise it didn't have a ballast inside. That's probably what I hooked this up to, just to give it some sort of ballast, but I think that was 1000 watt, and they are super bright. But just to test it, Tridonic Atco igniter for 175 to 2000 watt metal halide, I should say. I always call it hydride for some reason. IBA, says that ignition something amps, 1.5 to 16.5. TC degrees Celsius 100. So you got your ballast. So the igniter actually goes right across the lamp. I think the idea is it puts like a higher voltage across the lamp side, like some sort of pulse of like 600 volts or something. Whereas, the lamp normally running on 240, or less because of the ballast. Although the ballast I think really is there just to reduce the current, but that probably does reduce the voltage as well. They show a capacitor across the main, so it's probably, not sure if the cap is just there for power factor correction. It may be all it does, or whether it's part of actually getting these lamps to fire up. And this hasn't been plugged in for a long time, so I think it's pretty safe. Vossloh Schwab, 25 microfarad. That's more like what I would have thought, but made in Germany. And yeah, nice filthy fitting. This has definitely done some work in a factory or somewhere. And the same maker for the ballast for mercury vapor lamp, 400 watt, 3.25 amps, 0.56. So I wonder if this runs, or is that just the start current like on the other one? Because the other one is, what does it say, 3.35 amps versus 3.25 amps, but that's the start current, so it doesn't tell you a running current. 6th of July 14 this was made, so this is newer than the other one I think. Obviously lived, yeah it is, 3 years newer than the other one, but obviously lived a rough life. And yeah, they're normally just hanging off a chain from a factory roof with, like I say, a big aluminium reflector lampshade thing hanging off it. It's direct all the light down, and you don't really want to see these lights from the side. They're pretty bright when they're running. But that's basically all there is to it. So like I say, you can pick these up for $5 or $10 pretty readily, so I'm hoping. Yeah, it says pendant use only as well. Start current IO3. Metal halide lamp. Start current 3.68 amps or something it says I think. But anyway, date November 6. Capacitor 25 mic. I guess we could have a quick look inside the thing. This one's riveted together except for one side we can get off. But I think these grow lights are going to be the sort of colour I want. If it's a little bit less orange than the old ones, won't hurt. But I do not want one of the standard white light sort of ones. I do have a 1000 watt one here with a ballast to go with it. And it's impressive how much it can light up. Oh, we've got two, oh well, they're both in cap type cases I guess for lamps. 70 to 400, that must be the igniter down there. Doesn't really say a lot. And Luxor light, it's a 25 microfarad. Luxor light, high pressure mercury lamp or metal halide lamp. Well, that's got mercury in it, so we'll call it a mercury lamp and hope to hell it does the job. I guess the other thing I could do is try and hook it up to that other ballast and see if that runs as noisy. But yeah, some of these lamps also, they're a bit funny about which direction you mount them. I forget, I think it's the mercury vapor ones. If you tilt them too far to the side or something instead of hanging down, they won't ignite. And the other thing with these lamps is they sometimes give you a rating on them of a restrike rating. Because if you turn these things off when they're hot and try and turn them on again straight away, they don't come back on. They sit there and there's a very dull glow, and it can take 10 minutes I think sometimes. I did used to have a mercury vapor one old street light on the end of my garage, and that, if you turned it off by accident and wanted to turn it on again, it took ages to come back on. I think it was around 10 minutes, and that was only like a little 50 watt one. So that is another thing to consider with this type of light globe. I'll put some, how hot is that lamp? Put some bubble wrap over the lamp so I don't handle it. I'll have to give this a clean after anyway to make sure it's perfectly clean. And they just come with one of these massive, I don't know what sort of screw fitting that is, but I'm sure there's a term for it. For that size, but that's about as big as they come for screw-in lamps, I think. And check the rest of this, looks safe. We've got the thing I connected up, everything looks to be safely done. Well, it is just a factory install, but this ballast is coming loose. I think it's lost a rivet or something. So I've got to be a little bit careful. Mains cord looks alright. Oh well, let's fire this one up, we'll see if it goes. I probably shouldn't have the metho right there either. Oop, doesn't do shit. Interesting. So either that hasn't screwed in enough to connect. I can hear it humming. It wasn't the best looking socket. I don't like turning these in too tight because maybe the igniter's not working. Or someone sold me a dud. Although I think, like I say, I did run another lamp with this. Well, we can check the voltage going into this igniter. Coming out of that igniter. Just have to be a bit careful with your multimeter, I guess, in case that thing does put out 600 volt pulses or something. I think this thing can handle 1000 volts DC, 750 AC, so let's hope it's not higher than that. I guess I could let it fire up and hopefully it's stopped trying to ignite it then. 240 volts. Certainly nothing higher there. So it could be that this fitting would have worked right with the mercury vapor, but nothing else because it's not igniting the lamp. I never like these sockets much because you can't tell if you've actually connected to them. I would think that would have screwed in and touched. I'm going to go a few down here. Should have made contact, I think. The outer ring of this connector is very crappy, very corroded. Possibly why someone got rid of this thing is because it didn't work. I'll just scrape that a bit so that sort of sprung up. I imagine that wouldn't connect. There's a few shiny patches on it. It must connect surely. But yeah, I would not use this light fitting. It's so corroded it's bound to cause some sort of bad contact, but not that bad I wouldn't have thought. Because the lamp's just an open circuit, you can't really tell if you've connected to it. The fact it's got 240 volts means the ballast is working. The igniter we don't know because it's made in China, so that's a bad sign. I'm not sure I trust it. I could probably wire this ballast in place of the one in the other one. And did that have its wires in the same sort of spot? Now we're going to have to get the right mains cord plugged in here this time, and it shouldn't be live. But always best if you're filling this stuff, treat the other mains cord as potentially live or something. It could put voltage out. It shouldn't because we're only hooked into the ballast and it's not hooked to anything else, but that is a danger you have to be careful of when you're hooking multiple things together like this. Is it just because you're not putting power into it doesn't mean power isn't coming out of it. I think that's screwed in properly. It's a bit hard to tell with these sockets. Yeah, that ignites. And it's humming a bit, but I don't think it's anywhere as noisy as this one. Maybe this one was gotten rid of because it's got a noisy ballast in it. That sounds a lot better. It's humming but not buzzing sort of thing like this one did. So who knows, maybe these bargain ballasts I've been getting aren't such a bargain after all. Maybe they've been disposed of because they're stuffed. You'd think whoever pulled them out would have chucked them out if that was the case, but it doesn't mean they did. That's a much more acceptable hum level. But I reckon that igniter's shot. No longer igniting anything, but that doesn't. The other one sounds overloaded to me. It's so noisy. I was a bit worried that these really were not up to running these lamps. but I guess I would assume this lamp doesn't pull too much extra current while it's running. Ooh, you can hear the metal inside making funny noises. Don't like the fact it's got that metal piece in there rattling around. Not sure it should be vibrating like that. Oh, yeah, there it goes, it's just expanding, I'm guessing. I actually removed this ballast out of that other 400 watt unit because this, I ran it for a while, the noisy one, and it got pretty hot and smelly after a couple of hours use, so I thought there's something definitely wrong with that one, I think. Put the other ballast in out of the beaten up one, and it runs fine, not excessively hot, not making weird noises or anything. And interesting, I was looking at this one that says 400 watt 3.15 amp, but I'm not sure if that's start or run because I usually have two different ones. And the other one over there was 3.25, I think, for mercury, and 3.45 for metal halide, it said. But they've been running alright with it. But I also picked up this for $5, a 600 watt one. This is actually made for high pressure sodium. SON-T Plus, NAV-T, LU600 lamp. And this is starting at 3.75 but running at 3.1, which is basically the same as this one. And even less than the other one, which is more like 3.2 to 3.4, that it's capable of delivering anyway. So yeah, I'm not really sure what the story is there. I might have to try and get a 400 watt HBS one, do a bit of research and find out what current they normally run at, because of course that lamp, that box I got for it, doesn't tell you anything. Pretty useless other than telling you the light spectrum, and you should plug it into a digital ballast, which I'm not paying a couple $100 for one of those for what I want to use it for. So yeah, interesting. Don't know quite what's going on. This one's actually quite a nice built one. Got the power outlet with the round earth pin, so you can't plug normal stuff in, because obviously this is going to put out a high voltage pulse from the starter, and because of the control gear, and obviously it's going to have a current limiting in there as well once something does actually run. So because that's got the igniter in it, looks like it's actually an Australian made one. Not sure who made the actual transformer. Tridonic Atco. That looks like almost like new. That would have cost a couple $100 or more new. Even just for the box and stuff, it's worth it for $5. Make a nice little power supply box or something, that would. But we'll have a look at the light running. It seems to run fine. I've run it a few times for 2 or 3 hours. And yeah, once I got rid of this can go in the scrap metal bin, I think. I'd say that's why someone got rid of this, because it looks like it's new basically, but it makes a hell of a lot of noise, and it does get you get that smelly, burning varnish sort of smell that you get out of transformers. And yeah, it was getting a bit hot to touch sort of thing after a couple of hours, so I thought, yeah, we'll definitely ditch that one. I reckon that's why that ended up as a tip shop special, because it was this, even though it looked quite new, it was because it was faulty. What's that out of that old Peelite one? So I haven't even got the cover on the box yet, which I better put back on. But I just wanted to run it and see how it went. So we'll have a look at the lamp. It comes up pretty nice and bright. But I think what people are saying about these street lamps that they used to use the orange ones with these high pressure sodium or low pressure sodium, they really are correct that they do not convert even though you're putting out 400 watts, it doesn't actually convert into light that you see, because it's only orange. Your eyes really don't pick it up that well, because I've got a 250 watt metal halide out there, and it's much brighter, or seems brighter, once it lights up than what this thing does. But these obviously have a much nicer look if you want to light up some trees or something, so it certainly looks nice. Plain white really doesn't cut it, but if you want practical stuff, definitely the white lights are a lot better, even for a lower wattage output. I think they're right about that they definitely light things up better. So these are more just a decorative purpose thing, or to grow your plants if that's what you want to do. I don't think the blue gums here need any more growth added to them, but they do look nice lit up at night. So we'll have a look at what it looks like outside. Takes a little while to warm up, but yeah, quite good once it gets going. I have to mount it up somewhere. It's only sitting on the ground at the moment, and I've got it in a great big old 1000 watt fitting, old Phillips one I think it was, that I had a bit of trouble getting into that because all the stainless steel bolts on aluminium tend to seize up. But I did get the glass off the front, pulled out the big, where is it? It's quite an impressive globe came out of it. That's the other globe. That's the 1000 watt, what is it? It is an actual Philips as well, but we had the original one still in it. HBI-T 1000 watt, made in Belgium, so it's even made in Philips part of the world. Bit of, yeah, that is actually melted there, so that's not a good sign. I guess that glass envelope has actually bulged as well as lost its colouring, so that obviously got way too hot, and it's got a bulge on the other side as well. So it's kind of got a ring right around that thing, so that fitting was probably getting pretty hot. You can see some bits of, I think that's the metal halide or whatever, salts in there, floating around loose in there. I don't think I've actually fired this one up to even see if it works. But I think they've got like your main connection, and then this other screw fitting is just to hold it physically so it doesn't rattle around too much. But yeah, quite impressive. So that's the box for the other one. So that's not a massive amount of difference, but it is also a bit bigger. And these things really pump out the light, especially if they're the, I'd say this one, I haven't tried these ones, but I assume they're the whiter coloured ones they normally are. And they really light up a good distance. Okay, let's give it some ignition. Starts off pretty white, but soon gets going. Nice warm glow now. Thanks for watching.